Now, in a fresh shock to Nigerian households and businesses, NNPC Limited has once again raised the retail price of petrol from 897 naira to 1,030 naira, and that's per litre. The 14.8% hike, which represents an increase of 133 naira per litre, marks the second time the cost would be increased in 1 month. Now, this latest increase has intensified economic pressures on a country already grappling with inflation and widespread hardship. Arise News correspondent Franco Malape tells us more.
This latest price increase makes it the second time the petrol price has been hiked in the past month. The company had in September increased pump price from 650 naira per litre to 897 naira per litre. For the average Nigerian, the reality of this latest price hike in the pump price is no longer bearable, leading to tougher times ahead. This sentiment is echoed by many across Nigeria, where purchasing power has been steadily eroded by inflation, rising food prices, and now escalating fuel cost. Some of the filling stations visited by the Rice crew in the FCT were almost deserted, as the filling stations had stopped dispensing fuel. And in another part of the city, motorists had to queue up to fill up their tanks.
I've been on the queue since 11 o'clock, and this is 251. Even with the increase in the price, we're still suffering. It's very bad. They should do something.
Honestly, it's very unfortunate. We're in a country where we are crying, earning at our pain, yet things keep getting worse, as if we don't have government and nobody is saying anything. They don't even want to know how we feel. They don't pity us at all. Yesterday I was there, the price was different. This morning it has just changed and nobody is saying anything. Who knows what will happen tomorrow?
The removal of fuel subsidies in May 2023 was a bold move by the government to establish market-based pricing in the petroleum sector and save the economy years of waste. However, the sharp and frequent increases in fuel prices have raised questions about the sustainability of the policy, particularly in a country where the cost of living is already so high. Some Nigerians expressed their view on the implications of the new pump price.
No matter what, must spend like 10 litre. So now calculate 10 litre for this matter. Is it not NNPC? Because I will see the opportunity of NNPC. Oh, there are some people filling station 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4 like that. When you go to outside this thing now, you will see many people like that. 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4. Okay, when you carry passenger, you tell passengers, okay, pay 2,000 from Zubato here. Can you pay it? Can you pay?
Mass is the sofa. How much is the fuel today?
I think about 1,030 naira.
Abba. So fuel, poor man no go buy fuel again. You look at it now.
I can't even buy full. Maybe I'll buy the one that my money can buy. So I can't buy full tank of these cars. They have increased fuel now. It should be like 100,000. So, and I'm collecting 70,000 as a salary.
Retail prices, as displayed on the NNPC Limited website, show that while the depot in Calabar selling for 1,050 naira, Lagos is selling for 1,010 naira. In the same manner, the retail price for the product is sold in Port Harcourt at 1,045 naira and 1,040 naira in Warri. At the Dangote refinery, a litre of petrol is said to have hit 977 naira. This, according to the report, has led to the adjustment in pump price by the NNPC Limited. NNPC Limited earlier quit its middleman deal with Dangote refinery, a move that made marketers, including NNPC Limited, buy directly from Dangote at the cost-reflective price. With this recent increase in the pump price, the big question remains, is the petroleum sector now fully deregulated? Frank Omalape, Arise News.
Well, the leadership of the Nigeria Labour Congress is asking the federal government to reverse the latest petrol pump price hike immediately. In a statement, NLC President Joe Ajaero noted that previous increases did not produce any good results, as people only got poorer after such increments in petrol pump prices. He says the latest hike would further present Nigerians with a blueprint for inclusive economic growth and national development.
Well, energy expert Maurice Ibe joins us now for more on these developments. What shall we say to these things? Dr. Maurice Ibe, welcome. Good to have you on Newsnight. I mean, the mood out there is actually palpable. We can all feel it. Now, this is to say subsidy is fully gone. Fully, totally.
Total deregulation. Absolutely. Subsidy is gone and gone forever.
Where does that leave us? Is this even sustainable? What are the fundamentals that went wrong that brought us here?
Well, we actually got it wrong from the beginning. From the beginning of removal of subsidy. If you recall, I've had this discussion on many occasions, and I always said that the first and foremost thing we should have done before even talking about deregulation was to make sure some of our refineries were functional. You can't be deregulating fully and removing subsidy if you have no functional refineries. We're actually lucky that Dangote, God bless his soul, came on stream. Because if he hadn't come on stream, what would become of us? We'll still be fully importing, which means you won't be talking about 1,030, you may be talking about 1,100 or 1,200 naira landed. So,
if not more.
If not more. So the situation we have right now is that subsidy is gone. The regulation is the market is fully regulated. The free market has taken its course.
So what factors led to the second price increase in so short a time?
Well, whatever Dangote is selling to NNPC.
And they're hesitant in letting the people know at what price they're selling, even to the NNPC. So what truly, that is why I'm asking, what exactly are the factors that have led to this second increase? Because I don't know if you know.
Suleiman, let's be realistic.
And that's why we're asking.
Let's be very realistic. Yeah. When you're operating in a fully deregulated market, nobody can fix the price. You sell based on what you buy. We may be complaining that Dangote hasn't told us how much he's selling NNPC, or NNPC is not disclosing to us how much he's buying from Dangote. But remember, you sell according to what you buy.
But what does that tell you if both are not saying at what price they're getting the commodity? Well, doesn't that tell that there's something,
we've always known that that's something that is not, very clear.
Right. So the opaqueness around oil and gas
there has to be some level of clarity.
Yeah.
Because when they had this deal with the outside world, outside Nigeria, they always tell us about the landing cost, they tell us about freight, they tell us all sorts. Yes. But now it's happening here. Well, mom seemed to be the word.
But NNPC shouldn't have been the only off-takers in the first place. They have 4 refineries. They can't get any functional. This Dangote is a private refinery. So he sells based on what's his cost of production.
And what cost is he selling?
But it's, again, you can interrogate Dangote refinery all you want. He is a private refinery. Yeah. The government can't legislate or can't tell him what to sell for. He is going to sell to the market what he thinks is profitable to sell on. So the issue is not Dangote refinery. The issue is not Dangote. The issue is that you've deregulated the market. And you deregulated the market at a time when you had no functional refinery.
Yeah.
No functional refinery.
That's on the one hand.
So now you've created another type of monopoly in the system. So what do you expect? There's no competition.
The issue of the refineries not functioning, on the one hand.
Yes.
And then, on the other hand, is the devaluation of the naira that went hand in hand. Is that at the core of what we're experiencing now?
Absolutely. The devaluation plays quite a role in what is happening. No doubt about it. The devaluation of the naira plays quite a role. But remember, Dangote is now buying or being supplied crude in naira, not in dollars. So we expected that should have softened the cost at the pump price. So it's a bit surprising that NNPC, at such a short period of time, is hitting us with a new price. So it would be good for them to come out and tell Nigerians what suddenly happened.
Well, you know, sometimes it might look so difficult for us to talk about issues on television, especially when we seem not to be going forward, because there's clearly something that we need to get, and it has to do with Dangote and the NNPC. You cannot be in business without telling the people at what cost you're doing A, B, and C, and NNPC on the other hand. But again, well, let's move on. How will this price, if any, is the government, do you think that the government should now consider alleviating the financial burden on citizens now that the NLC is spoken? So many other Nigerians you saw in that report, our reporters went out earlier in the day. People are not happy, people are not excited. So shouldn't the government bend?
Absolutely. I mean, it's heart-wrenching to see what Nigerians are going through today. Very heart-wrenching. And the essence of government is not to make things difficult for a citizen. I was thinking that the essence of government is to make life and living a little easier and comfortable. And I think no matter what the experts say, no matter what the economists say, no matter what anybody says about subsidy, the government has to provide some kind of intervention at this point, because this is unsustainable. It's unsustainable.
That's the point.
And NNPC also, if I may just say this, NNPC needs to come out openly and explain what is happening. NNPC, again I say, Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited, needs to come out openly and kind of unravel what is happening, because they are the ones.
What's the use of a spokesperson for NNPC when NNPC can't speak to Nigerians?
It bothers me. The last time I came here, we were wondering how much they're buying from Dangote and how much are not buying from Dangote refinery. How do you conduct such a transaction?
So moving away from all of that, now how do we move forward from this
situation? The government has to step in.
In what way exactly?
Well, I would hate to say this, but the government has to step in with some kind of intervention. Whether you call it subsidy, I don't care what you call it. But this is not sustainable. The government must step in at some point.
Will it be subsidy at the exchange rate or at the pump price?
At this point, Nigerians don't care. They just want to buy fuel at affordable prices.
And selling crude in Naira, isn't that
some level of subsidy?
Some level of subsidy.
There's some level of subsidy. Providing or selling crude in Naira should provide some kind of succor, some kind of subsidy. And I was thinking that should reflect in the new pricing structure. But again, like I said, NNPC needs to come out clearly and tell Nigerians what is happening. This is not working. And I don't know how sustainable this can be.
And I'm just wondering, even if the NNPCL came out to tell Nigerians exactly what's happening, how does it solve the problem of cost of living? Minimum wage 70,000 naira, and you have to go to the pumps to buy, a lot more than what you earn.
At least that will provide the government the basis to do whatever they can do to help alleviate the sufferings.
Dr. Maurice Sibe, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We'll take a short break and return with more. Stay with us.
UBA is one bank uniting Africa and connecting Africa to the world and the world to Africa.
When you invest in UBA, you're not only investing in one geography, you're investing in 24 geographies. So your Naira is invested in Kenya, it's invested in US, it's invested in UK, it's invested in Ghana.
33% of our CEOs in the 20 African countries are women.
UBA's diversified business in itself is significant value.
Tout ça pour dire que nous sommes une banque qui est innovante, qui regarde et observe tous les besoins des différents dans les pays où nous sommes.
I opened my very first bank account 33 years ago with UBA.
Your belief in UBA motivates us to excel and deliver long-term value for everyone involved. So thank you to all these critical stakeholders.
Thinking of banking in Africa? Think Zenith. In today's fast-moving, fast-changing world, you need a financial partner that understands your unique expectations. A bank with presence in major financial centers across the world, with the enabling platform to facilitate seamlessly whenever, wherever, however. A bank with best-in-class financial solutions from a superb combination of technology and human touch for easy, fast and secure banking that creates real value. Turning dreams into reality is now in your hands. People, technology, service. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
It's the Glow Festival of Joy, and it's raining exciting prizes. Oh, for 120 days, we take it to the max. Mind-blowing, loaded prizes. Take John, winning a tear rubber Toyota Prado by recharging up to 100,000 naira. And Sister T, winning a Cha-Cha Kia Picanto by recharging up to 50,000 naira.
Yes, the gifts are unloading joy all over Nigeria.
From Toyota Prados to Kia Picantos, Keke Napep, generators, sewing machines, and even grinding machines. Just dial *611#, choose your prizes, recharge the value for the month, and you too can win.
Whoa, you too can win, oh!
Tell me you have good news. I'm trying my best, Jaja. You're not a slave.
I am trying to help you, and you make a mockery of me.
Hey, calm down.
Don't tell me to calm down. She always does this.
You didn't mind. Answer me.
For you to die.
Welcome back to Newsnight. The Senate has expressed a complete alignment with the Supreme Court judgment which granted financial autonomy to Nigeria's 774 local government areas. It also urged all three tiers of government to fully comply with the judgment, even as it vows to amend the 1999 Constitution to remove obstacles and pave the way for full implementation of the Supreme Court judgment. Arise correspondent Omo Bazwaye has the rest.
Wednesday's plenary kicks off without any inkling about the troubles that is about to follow. Senator Toyin Wanye's motion on a vexed issue of local government autonomy was enough to spark all of the controversies, especially allegations that some state governments were making laws aimed at circumventing the implementation of the Supreme Court judgment through their state houses of assembly.
Senate further concerned that the modus operandi of subverting this financial autonomy of local governments by state government through the House of Assembly is to insert clauses in their state laws that require local governments upon receipt of this federal allocation from federation account to remit all or majority or substantial part of the allocation to a dedicated account who the state government will keep on controlling, managing, and disburse as they like.
But immediately after Wanye's presentation, seconded by Senator Osita Izinazo from Imo West, Senator Adamu Alero raised a constitutional point of order to stop further debate on the motion, urging the Senate not to overflog the issue.
The Supreme Court judgment, which distinguished Senator Tony Nwoye referred to, is a Supreme Court pronouncement. It's a decision of the court, and it must be enforced.
In trying to align with Senator Alero, the president of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, may have unwittingly thrown additional spanner at the motion when he called attention to Section 162 of the 1999 Constitution, which, according to Akpabio, creates state and local government joint account that has to be amended to pave way for full implementation of the Supreme Court judgment.
Section 162, subsection 6 says, each state
shall maintain a special account to be called State Joint Local Government Account, into which shall be paid such allocations to the local government councils of that state from the Federation account and from the government of the states.
Two simultaneous points of order from Toyin Woye and Senator Sumaila Kawu before a final decision could be reached left the Senate in a standstill as the leadership puts heads together for a way out of the tight corner. Senate was eventually forced behind closed doors, and when it returned roughly 2 hours after, it called on the states and local governments to comply with the Supreme Court judgment in favor of local government financial autonomy. The Senate also promised to remove all bottlenecks in the 1999 Constitution to the full implementation of the local government autonomy.
The Nigerian Senate stands solidly behind the Supreme Court decision on its efforts through a judicial pronouncement to sanitize the administration of local governments in the country.
At the moment, some state governors may have found loopholes and enough grounds in Section 162 of the Constitution that creates state and local government joint accounts to circumvent the Supreme Court judgment on local financial autonomy, leaving the Senate in very tight position. Omo Bazwai, Arise News.
Bello Lawal, the newly elected president of the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, has condemned the arson on local council secretariats in Rivers State following the election and inauguration of local government chairpersons. He made the submission at a media briefing in Abuja. Arise correspondent Godfrey Shemoge has the rest.
The new president of the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria arrived in the ALGON national headquarters for the first time following his election at the National Executive Council meeting in Lafia, Nasarawa State. At a session with the media, the ALGON president condemns the Rivers incident and other related incidents elsewhere.
The setting up of a local government secretariat ablaze by some unscrupulous element was highly regrettable and is hereby condemned strongly by the ALGON. The ALGON would also like to strongly condemn the illegal impeachment of local government chairman of Alimosho local government in Lagos State. And that's why the ALGON is working together with the federal government, the National Assembly, and other relevant stakeholders to ensure the amendment of the Nigerian Constitution in line with the Supreme Court judgment.
Lawal says the 774 local government areas are yet to take delivery of funds from the Federation account in compliance with the Supreme Court judgment of 11th July, which grants them financial autonomy.
Local government, of course, and the Presidential Implementation Committee to honestly follow through the process in response to the Supreme Court judgment, and whereby 3 months window was given for the implementation to kickstart. So as we speak, we are in the 3rd month now, October, so we're expecting, like, starting from this month, the local government will start receiving their funds directly from the Federation account.
The ALGON president pledges to uphold the principles of transparency and accountability. He commits to having all local government chairmen work hard to bring development to the grassroots. Bello Lawal, the current chairman of Keita local government area in Katsina State, is the 12th president of ALGON. He succeeds Aminu Meifata, the immediate former president of the association. Godfrey Eshamoge, Arise News.
Well, joining us now in the studio is Senior Advocate of Nigeria, West Idausa, and also he was a former lawmaker. At our Overflow studio is lawyer and Arise analyst Frank Tietie. Gentlemen, good to see you all and thanks for your time. Let's jump in on those quickly here and start with, well, West Idausa, what specific changes will financial autonomy bring to local government operations as highlighted by the lawmakers and even ALGON chairman?
Thank you very much. To start with, I imagine that financial autonomy is the driving force for development, and it is very clear to me that once that is achieved, you are not likely to have local government arrangement, which is now desolate. It's just looking like a dumping ground. That's what the local governments look like now for matters that have become obsolete. Have you tried to go to their secretariat, apart from a few that are still vibrant? You won't believe that this is the same local government administration that we used to have in those days. And that's simply because they have been completely stifled with funds. And that's why everybody celebrated the judgment of the Supreme Court, which in my own view is binding and has become a policy statement of the highest court of the land. So hate it or like it, you can't ignore it. And to whoever does that will be affronting the government of Nigeria, as far as I am concerned. And so I consider it imperative that funding must become guaranteed by direct allocation to local government purses. And that's exactly what the whole country is waiting for. If that were to happen, no matter what anyone thinks, we should get a better appreciation from what the local governments can do. We expect them to start tarring roads. We expect them to start building facilities. We also expect them to start providing internet facilities and open up the rural areas and connect them to the rest of the world. They can't live in isolation for the rest of their life. They are part of this country.
Ideally, that's the job of the local government councils. Frank Tete, let me bring you in here. It does seem that the supremacy of the Supreme Court is being put to the test or the question by the state governors, some at least. Would you say that these governors are trying to circumvent the ruling or judgment, if you like, of the Supreme Court? And what is this saying to us?
Well, the state governors have obviously shown that they lack capacity to govern according to the restrictions within the law. First, they want to take local government funds now by force. They want by the force of law. They are begging the local governments to bring money with this report that has just come out, particularly with regards to Anambra State trying to make a law to compel local governments to deduct, to remit, not deduct now, setting their allocations to the state government account, which is more of a joke. Because the local government the state government must realize that it can make laws, particularly flowing from the provisions of Section 162. But which funds? Funds from the federation account can only be legislated upon by the National Assembly. So the state government should go and look for its own fund within the state, and then when it's about to share those funds to the various local governments, it can make its own law. So the state House of Assembly should stop daydreaming by thinking that funds that the Supreme Court judgment has expressly said belongs exclusively to the local government cannot be legislated upon by any House of Assembly for that matter. So it only gives credence to the fear of those persons that say that, look, the idea of why state governors rig elections, do everything possible to ensure that they return only their party members, their stooges and cronies as elected local government chairmen, is so that they can make a law like that to give them that kind of illegal basis for them to sheepishly obey the governor and say, look, we are remitting 20%. Even though the money has been paid directly to us, we are giving you 20% because you are our overlord. After all, you installed us. So that's where it's going to. But that's a dreamland. It's not possible given the declaratory judgment of the Supreme Court. We must be careful anyway that the Supreme Court made a very masterful decision there, because it didn't take away the powers of the House of Assembly to actually make laws with regards to local government funds. However, what funds? Which funds? Funds from the federation account, state government, the state House of Assembly putting its eye there, it's a joke and practically impossible.
Well, I think two key words there, listening to you, Frank Tete, overlord, and of course putting his, his eyes or his hands. Let's bring in Wesley Dowsa. Let's talk about how long this might take for us to have or witness some kind of practical effects of this autonomy we speak of. Keep in mind that something ugly had also just happened in Lagos, where the State Assembly Speaker suspended a council chairman of Alimosho, as ALGON President just reminded us now. So how long will it take for everyone to understand the full import of this?
Well, it's unfortunate, We've been on this journey since 1999. We are not so young in this business. So it brings to the fore the operators of our system. So each time we make laws and we amend these laws, probably we have the most amended constitution that I know of. Every year is a ritual. The problem is not with the letters and the spirit. The problem is with the operators. You will imagine, despite the arena, which is clearly set now for compliance by many, a state at this point is still making laws to the extent that it is covering the field, which is already covered by the Constitution of Nigeria. You are struggling to challenge the Constitution by your state law, and you hope to get your way through. And so it comes to the point of how far do we need to go to say that we are now accustomed to the basics of democracy. How far? When will our politicians learn? When do we submit ourselves to the sovereignty of our country? When do we accept the fact that this democracy requires sacrifice and that we need the discipline to be part of the system? When will that be? I ask them. When?
$1 million question, really, if you ask me. Now, Frank Tete, is there any kind of ambiguity in the ruling of the Supreme Court or the Constitution itself? That section 162 that you referred to, subsection 6, says it actually provides for state and local government joint account. Is there a need for an amendment of that section to provide for more clarity, even as the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, alluded to?
Clearly so. Yes, there is need for an amendment to make it in line with the mind of the makers of the Constitution, even though the Supreme Court was very careful in its judgment by saying that it didn't want to be swayed by any form of sentiment or morality, in the sense that there is the report that state governors are fond of actually abusing or misusing the state local government funds. However, the Supreme Court did not expressly state that such funds be paid directly to the local government, the local government, based on that judgment. What it did clearly say and emphasize is that for every particular time there must be democratically elected local government, councils in this country. And if that situation does not exist, then funds that are meant for such state government would no longer be paid to such local government state local government joint account or whatever account, and that the state can no longer receive such monies. However, it will now lie in the discretion of the federal government, particularly the federal government, particularly the Ministry of Finance, to pay such monies directly to the local government councils. Now, based on that judgment, if one person, even if it's a councillor, is unlawfully removed, or a chairman or a council is unlawfully dissolved, which means that that state can no longer receive its funds that are supposed to be paid to the state government, particularly with regards to local government funds. Now, so in that regard, it's a declaratory judgment. What it means is that it's simply stating the position of the law. It's saying that the state, particularly, makes an order, the Supreme Court makes an order, that an injunctive order for that matter, that no state whatsoever, whether it's a House of Assembly or it's the Attorney General or Commissioner of Finance, can in any way touch any fund that is meant for the local government. So it is meant to be 100% to be given to the local government. However, it did not, because of the confusing nature of the judgment itself, because many people have not really studied the judgment. It didn't take away the powers of the state houses of assembly to make law, but it did emphasize that all monies, 100% for that matter, and with a level of injunction, it places an injunction on the state that you cannot touch any money belonging to the local government. In that case, if there is no democratically elected local government council, it means that state cannot receive the money. But again, it also expressly gives power to the federal government to pay such monies, because you cannot, because of the malfeasance of a governor who wants to dissolve the state local government councils, local government council in the state, and appoint critical committees and to punish the people. So in that case, sensibly pay the money directly to the local government councils. Because of this kind of conundrum and confusion, it therefore requires the National Assembly to act fast. The reason you see houses of assembly like that of Anambra trying to make such pervasive law is because the National Assembly is slack, is slow. If the National Assembly makes a law today with regards to funds flowing from the federation account that are meant strictly, exclusively for the local government, no House of Assembly will dare to make that kind of law.
Well, I think good thing we have West Idausa here for us to help speak on what role will oversight bodies like the National Assembly play in the ensuring that there's some kind of proper use of the funds for grassroots governance.
Well, the first thing is to say that I'm not too sure my brother Titi knows the mentality of the typical politician we have now. They don't even understand the concept of the conflict between state laws and federal. Even when they do, they don't really give it down because they're so sure that they can find their way judicially. I read one challenge being posed by the government of Anambra saying anyone who didn't think that this law was validly done should go to court, and the rest of them. But I'm of the view that the best the National Assembly can do, they have their committees on local government, and each time you call to interact with the local government, once they leave Abuja, the governors take supreme command. So the system of electing local government chairman must be brought back to the table. The way it is today, it is not likely to produce the type of autonomy that we are looking for. So you are not going to find a situation where you bring the money from Abuja, and in spite of all of the payment into their account, they will voluntarily surrender this to those who have been regarded as democratic monarchs who preside over the states. So our democracy, the further we go, the more confused it has become. It shows that we have a common attitudinal problem. And unless the political class gets born again, there's not much anyone can do. From 1999 to today, it has been a downward trajectory. Regrettably, I say so.
Unfortunately. Meanwhile, the rule of law is meant to guide and check these excesses on the part of not just politicians, but every Nigerian. We'll have to say thank you very much, West Idausa, Senior Advocate of Nigeria and former lawmaker. Thanks for joining us. Frank Tete is a lawyer and a RISE analyst. Thank you, both of you, for joining us. There's more to come on Newsnight. Stay with us.
Why should they do younger like this? As you see me so, I don't become 10x of the woman when I be before. Berekete 10x.
Make you enjoy 10 times your recharge, double data, and other betterment on top, voice calls, IG, TikTok, audio and video streaming, Zoom calls, and other better things them. Dial *301#.
You never finish, 1,000 naira welcome bonus for voice and data. You mean all this thing for Berekete 10x? Full for the enjoyment.
Is your line blocked? You can get your line unblocked free, fast and easy. Quickly go to any Glow World shop or SIM registration center near you and link your NIN to your Glow line right now. Got no NIN? Visit the nearest NIMC office, get an NIN, and then link it to your Glow line. NIN registration is free, so reconnect with Glow today.
We are Fidelity. We keep our word.
Good afternoon, the people of Nasarawa State. We are happy to be here. The food bank train has come to Kefi. You can see people, they are excited, waiting to see what Fidelity has to offer. I appreciate the Fidelity Bank for giving us this food.
Fidelity Bank, now
Fidelity. Allah isaka da alkhairi.
I am so excited and happy. I really want to appreciate Fidelity Bank for the happiness and the smiles they put on everyone's faces.
We are very delighted with the way Fidelity Bank is doing. If the other bank will emulate the way they are doing, maybe this hardship in Nigeria, it will reduce.
Just want to tell you that Fidelity Bank, the bank that supports corporate service responsibility, and this is one of our key functions.
We are Fidelity. We keep up. What will banking look like in the future? For over a century, we've been growing to meet the needs of an ever-changing world. delivering unique solutions to help our customers reach increasingly bigger dreams. Innovating to create an exciting new world of convenience and freedom, where what you can achieve is only limited by your imagination. Opening up new, more inclusive channels for commerce. Empowering a new generation to reach beyond their dreams and grow into the giants that we're always meant to be. We're helping to create a future where the possibilities are infinite, the opportunities borderless, and where the world looks up to Africa. Let's awaken the giant in you. You first. First Bank.
Very often, people say to me, you are already on the